இந்த கடந்த நிதி ஆண்டு 2022-2023ல் இந்த ரெண்டு போர்ட்ஸ்லையும் சென்னை போர்ட்ஸ்லையும் காமராஜர் போர்ட்ஸ்லையும் நல்லா கார்கோவும் நல்லா ப்ராஃபிட்டும் அச்சீவ் பண்ணியிருக்கிறோம். இங்கே சென்னை போர்ட் பொறுத்தவரையும் நாங்கள் க்ரோத் அச்சீவ் பண்ணியிருக்கிறோம். அப்புறம் லாஸ்ட் 13 வருஷத்தில் இல்லாத 150 கோடி ப்ராஃபிட் நாங்கள் ஏர்ன் பண்ணியிருக்கிறோம். காமராஜர் போர்ட் பொறுத்தவரையும் நாங்கள் 12.3% க்ரோத் அச்சீவ் பண்ணியிருக்கிறோம். ப்ளஸ் ப்ராஃபிட் பொறுத்தவரையும் ப்ராஃபிட் பிஃபோர் டேக்ஸஸ் நாங்கள் கிட்டத்தட்ட 669 crores நாங்கள் அச்சீவ் பண்ணியிருக்கிறோம். 669 கோடி அச்சீவ் பண்ணியிருக்கிறோம். மொத்தம் ரெண்டு போர்ட் சேர்த்து லாஸ்ட் இயரில் 92 மில்லியன் டன்ஸ் கார்கோ அச்சீவ் பண்ணியிருக்கிறோம். இந்த வரும் நிதி ஆண்டில் 100 மில்லியன் டன்ஸ் அச்சீவ் பண்ணணும், அது டார்கெட் இலக்கு வச்சிருக்கிறோம். What's your name, you said? Okay, Mr. Ronald, I will answer your question and then I'll also make a request. So first is that as far as the already constructed columns are concerned, the plan is, as you will know, that from Madurvayal up to Coimbatore, it is still one level only. Only between Coimbatore and Chennai port, it is becoming a double decker. So, as far as the load is concerned, it changes only between Coimbatore and Chennai port. So, those columns which are already there on Bangalore Road, that is Coimbatore, Madurvayal, they can be reused. It has been confirmed they can be reused. There are certain columns, I don't remember the exact number now, which have been laid already along the Coom River. There now we are going to have double decker instead of single deck. Those will have to be demolished, and as per the guideline given by Water Resources Department, they will be demolished up to below the bed level of the river so that they don't affect the flow of water at all. So this is my answer to your question. Next is the request to all of you that this press conference is for achievements of Chennai Port and Kamarajar in 22-23. So don't just restrict yourself to elevated corridor. Let us talk about, because I personally feel that me and my team, and more than me, my team, they have worked very hard to sort of change the way the port is working, both the ports. So I request you to highlight those figures rather than only elevated corridor. That we will talk separately. We can even bring the regional officer of NHAI. You can get more details. Let us now talk about other achievements and other milestones.
So how much automobiles have been unique?
Both ports put together, we have exported 380,000 automobiles in this last financial year.
Container Chennai has been a leader because it started the container business way back in 1980. But you see today we have a story from JNPA. They are doing 6 million TEUs. Of course you can't compare apples with oranges. But in containers we have seen in the last 10 years there has been either a marginal increase or they are going down. So container is the future. Considering that container is the future of any port, we are not doing as well as we should be doing. What are this? And I also hear a lot of ships are getting diverted to Kakapati, and you have given me your assessment because that private fellows can do so many other things. But anyway, container we are not doing as well as we should be doing. And any action plan which the port administration is taking to see that we grow in container, because that is the real growth for any port.
See, when you are talking about JNPT doing around, let us say, 6 million, right? You yourself also very rightly pointed out that things are very different on both the coasts of India, right? One is that JNPT and Mundra both are catering to a very big hinterland. The entire hinterland of Delhi, its surrounding regions, right? Western Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, Gujarat, that is being catered to by those two ports. Maharashtra, that is being catered. So if you look at the container traffic of India, you will find that it is very disproportionately towards the western coast. That is one part. Second part, if you look at our hinterland, ultimately the way you see the hinterland, we are catering to the hinterland. Up to Bangalore we are going, then southern Andhra Pradesh, northern Tamil Nadu. Now if you add all these four terminals which I mentioned, if you add Katupalli, if you add our Ennore terminal, container terminal, and the two terminals here, you will find that we are doing around, let's say, 1.5 here, around 0.6 there. Yeah, put together two, yeah, around, yeah, right. So this this is nothing compared to, let us say, what is being done in JNPT, etc. Right now, but I do accept that today there is a growth of around 7% if you put together these four terminals. So there is a growth of 7%, but I am seeing minus 8.2%. So I have to be concerned that when overall the containers are growing, why they are not growing at my terminals, right? We are perfectly sensitive to this situation, and that is the reason that for last around 2 to 3 months, we have been interacting very closely with our partners, and there are two things we have done. One was a very small thing, that we had something called loyalty discount. I don't want to bore you with details, but there were certain procedures, documentation load was there. That all we said, okay, our board has exempted and we are giving that. Second thing is we have removed that complicated procedure. From 1st April we said, let us bring this into our normal scheme itself plus extra. So that's the table which I had indicated. This is after consultation with our terminals also, both the terminals. So we have increased the discount. If I remember correctly, the highest discount used to be in the range of 50%. Now it is in 60%. So overall, everybody will be gaining around 5 to 10% extra benefit now, right? But again, you have to accept that when there is a private entity doing business and government entity doing business, the way he can immediately respond to situation. Okay, Sunil Paliwal has done this. Okay, I give you 2 more. I can do this, right? I have that limitation. But we are trying to do things like, for example, you know more than me that there was a lot of traffic problems here, that congestion. Today, I can say to some satisfaction that it's a thing of the past. Okay, it should not happen again. I am putting a buffer parking yard. I am interacting with customs to have preventive officers so that the experience of users at my port is good. So within the operating space available to me, we are aware of the problem and we are trying to tackle it.
Sir, KPL வந்து இந்த வருஷம் லாஸ்ட் இயர் வந்து இன்கம் வந்து 850, அதில் ப்ராஃபிட் சர்ப்ளஸ் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா 705 crores. அதே மாதிரி சென்னை போர்ட் எடுத்தீங்கன்னா 943 crores, ப்ராஃபிட் எடுத்தீங்கன்னா 150 crores. ஸோ இந்த இப்போ ஒரு பெரிய போர்ட்டு சென்னை போர்ட், ஒரு லேண்ட்லார்ட் போர்ட்டுன்னு லேட்டஸ்ட்டாக ஆரம்பிச்சதுல இவ்வளோ ப்ராஃபிட் வர அளவுக்கு இது டெவலப் ஆகிருக்கு. In future, in the administrative policies, ஒரு லேபர் ஓரியன்டட், எம்ப்ளாய்மெண்ட் ஓரியன்டட், இதெல்லாம் தவிர்க்கிறதுனால தான் காமராஜர் போர்ட்டுக்கு இவ்வளோ ப்ராஃபிட் வருது. இல்லை இதெல்லாம் ஹேண்டில் பண்ணுறதுனால தான், இதெல்லாம் மெயின்டைன் பண்ணுறதுனால தான் சென்னை போர்ட்டுக்கு இது இருக்கா? எதிர்காலத்தில் இந்த பாலிசி போர்ட் செக்டரில் எப்படி இருக்கு?
If I have understood the question correctly,
இந்த ப்ராஃபிட் வந்து அதனுடைய ஃபுல் ப்ராஃபிட்டும் வந்து சென்னை போர்ட்டுக்கு தான் வருமா எதிர்காலத்தில், இல்லை அதனுடைய டெவலப்மெண்ட்டுக்கு அது யூஸ் பண்ணுவோம்?
No, this is, yeah, I think this is a very, very, if I can say, intelligent and deep question. We have to balance between the two ports, right? As you can see, we want synergy. We don't want some kind of a extractive behavior. So we are balancing both the ports. You will be seeing that. Now, whatever profits are getting generated in Kamarajar port, we are trying to use it in two ways. One is, the first charge is on what are the requirements of Kamarajar. So if Kamarajar, I'll give you an example. Today, Kamarajar is spending lot of money because they are not a part of development project. That's why I didn't highlight. We are doing 160 crores we are spending to put a groin on Ennore Creek. Ennore Creek requires a groin because siltation is happening. It was covered by one of the newspapers in a very big way. And we were happy to see that Kamarajar port was also mentioned. Otherwise, you don't even mention us also, that we are spending the entire money. So, that we are spending 160 crores. Today, we are restoring the northern breakwater at a cost of 88 crores. We are doing dredging at a cost of 156 crores, 155 crores. We are planning to do dredging at a cost of 549 crores. So first charge is on Kamarajar because government realizes this, we realize this, that which will be the cargo port of Chennai. It will not, it will be no other port. It will be Kamarajar port. So we don't want to stunt that growth. Connectivity, infrastructure, capacity, the first charge is there. Then whatever remains, in that a reasonable amount is given as a dividend to Chennai port. Because as you also know that we have taken a loan of almost 1800 crores to acquire Kamarajar. So we have to service that loan also. At the same time, we have to do improvements, at least whatever infrastructure is there, we have to maintain it. And if we are doing elevated corridor, according to that we have to change our infrastructure, modify it. We have to have all these what I talked about, multi-level car parking, all those things we have to do. So both ports have to not only keep their infrastructure in good condition, but also keep on improving it. Of course, this extra capacity will come mainly in Kamarajar. So we are balancing that. As you can see, we are balancing that, and I can say that we are doing it quite reasonably well.
So this is about the dredging which you had talked about, 500. Could you tell us more about this? Like how much you lost? Like you said, you have lost. Most of the vessels have gone.
No, yeah, okay, yeah, correct. If I was to slightly explain to you in detail, as far as there are certain people, see what is happening is that, as you will know, that if I am carrying, let us say 100 kilogram, and if I am able to carry 200 kilogram, my cost is going to come down per kilogram, right? So the Cape size vessels normally are carrying around anything between, it can be as low as 90,000 tons, it can be as high as 1,60,000 tons. That much of cargo they carry. So you will have baby Cape, you will have a normal Cape, or maybe you can have something like me, old Cape kind of thing, so which will be still bigger, right? So what they were doing, many of them, what they still do, not that they are not doing, what they do is, they will bring 1,60,000, let us say to Krishnapatnam port. They will offload 40,000 tons. Then they will bring 1,20,000 to my port. That I am able to handle, which I am doing right now also. In fact, we have incentivized it. If you look at our trade notices, if you are bringing a Cape size vessels, I have put some, if I remember correctly, 90,000 to 1,20,000, I give some extra discount, 30%. Above 1,20,000, I give 40% discount. So we are trying to incentivize that. Okay, you can't handle full, you do part unloading, you come to me, right? But what I want, there are some people, like I gave an example of limestone in Chennai. He said, look here, I don't want to do this. I will take my entire thing there. So I have lost the entire vessel. I have lost the entire cargo. It is that cargo I have completely lost. So for that, I want to put that facility there, that I am also able to handle Cape size vessels. So some we are able to attract. In fact, every board meeting we are informing board that by this concession, every quarter rather, not every meeting, every quarter, that by this concession, how much I was able to bring that Cape size cargo into my port. So not that everything is lost, especially in Kamarajar. But yes, cargo is lost. That is what I am trying to tackle. That exact number I will not be able to say. Because this is a bit of a fuzzy thing. There are people who can take in both the ports. There are people who can take only in one port. So I'm sorry, but I'll not be able to put exact number to it. But this is how the entire thing is operating.
But is Kamarajar port trying to become a green port? Any initiatives in this regard? Like DOC port is DOC and 3 other ports are going to become the green hub of India. Is Kamarajar planning anything? Because we are into 30 cars, that is port. And the entire world is now changing to renewable energy. Is Kamarajar, since you are heavily dependent on port, do you have a future?
Your question actually has two parts. One part is green port in the sense that how I do my operations, how much environment friendly I am, right? So in that, as I was informing in my presentation, when I give shore power, now today we don't realize when these ships are inside the harbor and when the loading unloading is happening and they are running their own generators to operate these cranes, ship cranes, or the entire lighting, all those facilities, air conditioning inside the vessel, it is producing carbon dioxide, right? So that we are telling, okay, we will put shore power. So Kamarajar Port, we have taken a major initiative that these 2 coal berths, first I will put shore power. So this is, I am greening my operations. Number 2, as we indicated to you, we have put a 300 kilowatt of solar power plant. Now I don't want to take everybody's time, but this was the optimal capacity for me. This is the highest I could have gone. Whereas if you see, if I remember correctly, Tuticorin is doing around 5 megawatt. Because here in my port, what is happening is that I take my power and each of my PPP operators is taking their own power. So my requirement is a bit low, around 700 or so. So this was the optimal figure, right? So this is what we have done. Third is, if you see my container terminal, you will find all my RMQCs, RTGs, they are electrically operated. They are not running on diesel, they operate on electric power. Then I had indicated to you how my own vehicles also I am trying to use e-vehicles, let us say in garbage collection, etc. And maybe now next step we might be moving for our own transportation inside the port and all that. So that also we are working on. So these are, then I am putting a desalination plant. I am putting a desalination plant because I want to supply water not only for my own this thing, but the nearby villages. So these are where, I am trying to use more and more green technology into my operations, right? Number 2, the question you are asking is about coal, right? So yes, we are aware of this, that ultimately the world is trying to move away from coal, but we are also aware of the fact that we have around 3,300 megawatt capacity right now, which is around KPL, and 2,700 megawatt is under development. That 800 megawatt which they are doing, what they are calling the stage 3, then they are doing NOR SEZ 600 into 2, then NOR around 600. So we have only prepared up to that. So for that coal berth 3, coal berth 4 we have developed, and in our master plan if you see, there is no more coal berths. So now the entire thing is either containers, or it is general cargo, or it is multi-cargo, it is other bulk cargo. So we are not having any more coal berths in our master plan. And these coal berths also, which are already there, in case, let us say, you are right that, ports are not for decades or years, ports are for centuries. So let's say 30 years down the line, you find that, okay, now coal is not there. The same berth can be used for some other bulk cargo.
Looking at lithium, cobalt.
Right now, what I am looking at very immediate future, I would like to tell you. My immediate future, what I am looking at is, as you would have seen, I am constructing a general cargo berth. So this general cargo berth, I'll start handling automobiles, and my existing general cargo berth, I am looking at wind energy equipments. We are in discussion with them. That berth we want to make available for wind energy equipments. Lithium, etc., are into the future. The then chairman will think about it.
So wind means turbines.
Yeah, turbines, wind blades.
Sir, Chennai port, 1,600, 700 ships are coming every year. Kamarajar port is 1,000. So lakhs of crews coming. இப்போ இது ஒரு க்ரூஸ் இது டியூட்டி ஃப்ரீ காம்ப்ளெக்ஸ் இந்த ஏர்போர்ட் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா பயங்கர டெவலப் ஆயிடுச்சு. ஈவன் ரயில்வே ஸ்டேஷன் ஆல்சோ டெவலப் ஸோ மெனி திங்ஸ். பட் போர்ட்டில் அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு ஒரு பெரிய எக்ஸ்க்ளூசிவ் ஒரு டெர்மினல் இது மாதிரி ஒரு காம்ப்ளெக்ஸ் மாதிரி அந்த மாதிரி இங்கே எதுவுமே இங்கே ஒரு க்ரூஸ் டெர்மினல் இருக்குது, உங்களே ஒரு டியூட்டி ஃப்ரீ ஷாப்ஸ். பட் ஏன் வந்து இவ்வளோ லட்சக்கணக்கான பேர் வர ஒரு போர்ட்டில் ஏன் வந்து ஒரு நல்ல இது டியூட்டி ஃப்ரீ காம்ப்ளெக்ஸ்?
See, as far as
ஏன்னா இங்கே வாங்கலைன்னா அவங்க நெக்ஸ்ட் போர்ட்டில் தயார் பண்ணி.
yeah, actually, again, as far as Chennai port is concerned, we are having 4 duty-free shops. As far as Kamarajar port is concerned, we are having 2 duty-free shops. Now, in airport, it is lot of passenger movement, and those passengers are buying, not the crew. The passengers, those shops, mainly the passengers are doing, right? Crew, what they are buying, you know. I don't need to say it here, right? So, what is mainly selling on these shops also, you know more than me. So, I think as far as duty-free shops are concerned, we have enough. What is important for this crew? Because as the vessels are increasing, as the vessel size is increasing. Now, when I am getting Cape size vessel, I am going to get 1,60,000 of cargo. Every day I can unload 40,000 tons. Right now in Panamax, I am doing it, let's say in 2 days, 2.5 days, the fellow goes back, the ship goes back. When I am doing 1,60,000 and the ship is there for 4 to 5 days, the ship crew would like to get down. They would not like to be on the ship, they are on in a harbor. Why should they be? So what we are doing in Kamarajar, we are developing a seafarer center. The work is already awarded at a cost of 9 crores. So what we are doing there, it will have proper business center, it will have a library, it will have lawn tennis, and into some kind of a lounge facilities, internet, then dining. At some point of time, presently I am not doing, but at some point of time maybe a swimming pool also, depending upon how we get the response. So that we are developing, so that they can, by turn they can come down, they can enjoy this facility for 2-3 days and go back to the ship. So this is for the seafarers, but we don't see them buying much of the duty free goods the way they do in airport.
But cruise ships are increasing every year.
Cruise ships, yes, they are increasing, and definitely in our cruise terminal, we can look at some kind of Zazi duty-free shops at the appropriate time. Definitely.
You said you are making it as a cruise hub of India. So what sort of other measures
See, as far as our cruise terminal is concerned, it is reasonably good, as you would have also seen. And now one thing which we have done is we have already frozen our layout in consultation with all our partner agencies like this immigration, then port health officer, customs. That already our deputy chairman had a meeting and entire thing is frozen. So the part which is operating right now is fairly good infrastructure. The entrance and exit were bad. They were not so good. If you really, the way when you were entered the terminal through escalator or you were coming out and getting down, they were not so good. That already our chief engineer has taken action. We are improving that. Then if you go to the first floor of our cruise terminal, you will find that almost 30-35% of the area is not a part of this facility right now. That we are preparing a plan how to bring it into and add it into the terminal itself, the first floor. Because ground floor we can't do much, first floor we are doing that. That is as far as the terminal facility is concerned. Now, as far as other facilities are concerned, which you would have seen, there is a limitation because we are operating in a full-fledged cargo port. So we cannot be permitting the private cars, etc. inside. So there we coordinate with our Tamil Nadu tourism. We very closely coordinate, and in the island grounds, all these facilities are created. They park their the individual vehicles there, then buses are brought in and all that. That experience we have made reasonably smooth. Now, as has been told, that as and when these numbers keep on increasing, we will improve. Let us say you can have a cafeteria, you can have duty-free shops, etc. That all depends. It will be with passage of time.
So you were talking about the financial settlements that were made to the employees, which was unresolved from 1998, and also you have shown the exhibition. And what is it? Elaborate more on
It is slightly. I will elaborate, but it is slightly bureaucratic. But I can elaborate to you. So basically, what has happened that people who retired by 1197, a certain category, then another category who retired by 1198. So the people who had retired later, they were getting lesser pension. It was based on ministry's guidelines. So when they were implemented, it ended up, not only here, it ended up in all the ports, that people who retired before 1197, this is class, no, but which one is 1197 and 1198? Class 3 and 4 is? So 1197, the class 3 and 4 which retired after 1197 were getting lesser pension than people who retired before that. And class 1 and 2, those who retired after 1198 were getting lesser pension than the class 1 and 2 which retired before 1198. So there was a discrepancy which crept in. So it was contested. It happened in all the major ports, and this was contested in courts. And Supreme Court's final order came in December of 21. December of 21. So then we sought guidelines from ministry, and once they came, then during this year we paid that amount.
The port through which the sea bridge status
is there any amount from that? I mean, how much you have paid?
To each person or something? Otherwise, overall we have paid 53 crores. 53 crores to our people.
What's the storage capacity of development storage facility?
Yard. The yard, how much we can store at any point of time. At any point of time, 250 containers can be stored.
Sir, port through the sea bridge status.
If you can just raise your hand also, okay.
Port through
That query is out of syllabus for this press meet.
Sir, you have decided to increase the draft in Kamarajar port to make it shape
Compliant.
So you would have seen a week ago, Parliamentary Committee on Shipping had expressed serious concern over the condition of our ports in reference to drafts. So, in light of such a recommendation, are you planning to, I know the average draft in Madras Chennai port is around 14.5 to 15, apart from Baltic office is more deep. Are you planning the same set of capital dredging in Chennai port, so that larger vessels can come to Chennai port?
So this is again a very interesting observation you are making. Yes, the parliamentary committee has told that there is a need to increase the draft in all the major ports of the country, and not only major, even minor should also, non-major also should take these steps, right? So as this is something, in fact, when we have done the IRR of that entire project, it is good. It can be implemented. It's more than 13%, right? But what we are, Kamarajar port. But what we are also adding there is, we should not be only looking at IRR, we have to be future ready. And this Parliament Committee recommendation is sort of strengthening our argument. Now coming to Chennai port, as you will appreciate, that once you are increasing the depth, your berths have to be ready for that. For example, today, for handling coal, for TANGEDCO and NTCL, we will make our coal berth 3 and coal berth 4 Cape compliant. They are already done like that. But coal berth 1 and 2 cannot be done because the pile depth, everything, right? So here, those kind of limitations, I mean, you can't make every berth Cape compliant. That is one part, and it is not needed also. See, for example, if you are handling a car, the car carrier will never require 18-meter draft. So you don't need to. Yeah. So only for 1 or 2 berths. Now here what is happening is that there the request has come from our partners. And we are seeing it that this is happening in business. No such requirement has come here. Yeah, the requirement will come. There's a likelihood of requirement coming when these containers vessels are increasing in size now, slowly. So what we are anticipating is that in 2031, when our first container terminal agreement is expiring and we are going for the fresh bidding, that time definitely we may have to go for higher depths. So it will be, the decision will be when it is appropriate for Chennai. Ultimately you spend hundreds of crores.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, last question. Sir, private ports and the logistics companies are stakeholders. நிறைய பேருக்கு வந்து ஆஃபீஸ் அக்காமடேஷனுக்கு வந்து செப்பரேட் காம்ப்ளெக்ஸஸ் அவைல் பண்ணுறாங்க. நம்ம போர்ட்டில், சென்னை போர்ட்டில் இப்போ நம்ம போர்ட் லிமிட், கஸ்டம்ஸ் லிமிட்டுக்கு வெளியில் இருக்க பில்டிங்ஸ் எவ்வளவு ஏரியா வந்து வெக்கேட்டடாக இருக்குது. அதுக்கு வந்து நீங்கள் உங்களுடைய பழைய லேண்ட் பாலிசி பிரகாரம் பார்த்தா மார்க்கெட் ரேட்டை விட இது அதிகமாக இருக்கிற மாதிரி ஃபீல் பண்ணுறாங்க. அதில் ஒரு கன்செஷன் பண்ணி இந்த சிஹெச்ஏ, ஷிப்பிங் கம்பெனிஸ் அண்ட் அதர் கவர்மெண்ட் ஏஜென்சிஸ் இதுக்கெல்லாம் வந்து இடம் கொடுக்கணும்னு சொல்லி ரொம்ப நாளாகவே அந்த கோரிக்கை இருக்குது. அதுக்கெல்லாம் கன்சிடர் பண்ணால் ஒரு பெரிய ஹியூஜ் ஆஃப் அமௌண்ட் வந்து ரெண்டரில் வர்றதுக்கும் வாய்ப்பு இருக்குது. அதே நேரத்தில் போர்ட்டோடைய ஃபெசிலிட்டிஸும் இன்க்ரீஸ் ஆகும். டிரான்ஸ்போர்ட்டர்ஸ், சிஹெச்ஏ, ஷிப்பிங் கம்பெனிஸ், அந்த லேண்ட் பாலிசி வந்து இட்ஸ் கம்பேர்ட் டு அதர் அந்த பாரிஸ் ஏரியா கம்பேர் பண்ணும்போது அதிகமாக ரெண்டர் இருக்குது. அதுக்கு ஒரு ஸ்பெஷலாக ஏதாவது கன்செஷன் பண்ணி பண்ணுறது மாதிரி
இல்லை சிவகுமார், எனக்கு இல்லை இப்போ எனக்கு என்ன சந்தேகம் வருதுன்னா நீங்கள் என்னுடைய ஃபைல் படிச்சுட்டீங்க போல இருக்கு. பிகாஸ் 2 days back I have cleared a file. What happened that, as you are rightly telling, Rajaji Salai only mainly I have vacant buildings. So what we did, my people were telling nobody is taking. But in government, you have to first establish that nobody is taking. So we did one round of bidding. Nobody came for that 5 locations, if I remember correctly. In 5 groups we had divided and we did, nobody came. Now we have formed a committee exactly to interact with port users and other people. Let us say all these, custom agent, everybody who are occupying buildings opposite to us. So why they are not coming here? What is their expectation on rent and everything? Just 2 days back we have formed a committee to have an interaction with these people. And once in one bidding I have discovered that it has not gone. Then only I have an argument to reduce it. So that part I have completed. Now this committee has been formed. This committee will be interacting and doing exactly what you are telling.
Thank you, friends. Thank you.
Can I say now these are last 2 questions. Target for the coming year 23-24, which incidentally is my complete year as chairman, the last complete year as chairman of these ports, these 2 ports. Our target is 100 million tons, both put together. Now it can, what I practically see we can achieve is around 48-52. 48 we should do in Kamarajar and 52 we should do in Chennai. Now it will all depend upon whether that 800 megawatt gets ready. There are certain this thing, but we are trying our best. I want to do 100 million tons in my last year as chairman.
How many cruise ships we are receiving every year?
Cruise ships are in 2 categories. One is domestic. So domestic, though, as you know, last time we had for 4 months. We expect to have it again for 4 months this year. Otherwise, I would say hardly 8 to 10 international.
Sir, on the cruise ship, domestic பண்ணாங்க. அவங்க அந்த கம்பெனியோட ஃபீலிங் எப்படி இருக்கு சார் சென்னை ட்ரெயின்?
I would say I would say it's very positive, and it is positive is also proved by the fact that another company, MSC Cruises, looking at the success, have come for discussion now. So I think it is quite positive.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.